With the Jimmy V Classic coming up from Madison Square Garden, we're pleased to be joined by ESPN's Seth Greenberg, as they'll have coverage all throughout the night. And we're talking Villanova and Gonzaga, Coach. What do you look forward to seeing in this matchup?
I think the biggest thing is going to be Omari Spellman. I mean, can he stay out of foul trouble? Can he rebound the ball against a physical and a little bit more experienced Gonzaga team? I think the backcourt, like when you're talking about Jalen Brunson, I mean, he controls the pace and the tempo of the game. The matchup against those upper-class guards of Gonzaga is going to be interesting to watch. Josh Perkins, a highly recruited player that, you know, as a redshirt junior, has kind of emerged as one of the leaders. Silas Melson, terrific defender. But to me, it's going to be the front court length of Gonzaga against Mikal Bridges, Omari Spellman, and even Dante DiVincenzo as he comes in. And then Eric Pascal. Eric Pascal and Spellman really need to stay out of foul trouble.
They may not have the blue blood resources, but Villanova just churns out consistent results year in and year out. To you, how do they do it?
Well, I think that, you know, they're going to get pretty good blue blood resources because they're redoing the pavilion, which is going to be, you know, fabulous. They got a terrific practice facility. Jay Wright is probably as good a teacher as anyone in the country. Everyone sees the suits and the pocket squares, and, you know, I call him George Clooney of coaching. He's such a great teacher, and he'd love to recruit the one-and-done guys. He tries to recruit the one-and-done guys. Hasn't been able to get those guys, but what he's been able to do is still put guys in the NBA. He develops players. His culture is so strong. His trust between his coaching staff and the team and the players is so strong, and the belief that, look, it's been proven. We can do it this way. We take care of the ball. We're the best pivoting team in college basketball. We were relentless defensively. We limit our exposure by extending our defense. So therefore, now we only have to guard maybe 20 seconds or 15 seconds in a half court. We've been able to get guys to buy in. And look, they got 6 starters right now. I mean, that's what they basically have. I mean, they might get a 7-man rotation round two, but they got 6 starters. And those 6 guys are totally bought into each other. And that's how Jay's been able to do it.
Seth, you were in Louisville on Sunday calling Seton Hall and the Cardinals. Pirates winning at Louisville for the first time since 1952. Why were they able to do it?
I'll tell you, Kevin Willard's got a terrific team, and he's got a great demeanor with his team. Senior teams are hard to coach because senior teams, they've had all these shared experiences, but, you know, 4 or 5 months, they're out the door. There's an uncertainty. And a lot of times you can get guys to play for themselves as opposed to the good of the group because they're playing for their future. He's got those guys to buy into each other. And look, you've got a world-class rebounder in Angel Delgado. You've got a guy, Kadeem Carrington, who has moved from the 2 guard to the point guard almost seamlessly. And he's a scoring point guard I call a ball guard who can get in the lane, make plays, do some different things, which is really good because it puts pressure on the defense. And Desi Rodriguez is absolutely phenomenal. I call him my guy now because early on I had a chance to watch him on tape, and he's wired to score, and he's got an offensive versatility. They do a nice job of posting him up off of back screens. They do a nice job of getting the ball in the middle of the floor where he can play one-on-one. He's shooting the 3. He's a very good offensive rebounder. Right now he's playing like an All-American.
I was just going to ask you that, if he's got All-American potential, Coach. And you just said it. A 6'6", 6'7" guy wired to score. That drive through the lane on Sunday, there's not a lot of guys that are that big that can handle the ball like that.
And what he did was he played right into, you're playing against Louisville, you're playing against great shot blockers. Yeah. I mean, they got 28 feet of shot blockers between Mahmoud and Spalding and Williams. And what he did was he took it right to the chest of the shot blocker. And, you know, sometimes the guys think shot block, you think nose job. I mean, like, he took it right into the defender and played through the contact. And that's what makes him special. And Kevin, after the game, he even mentioned to me, he said, you know, against Rhode Island, they didn't have the ball in his hands. He said, at the end of the game, the ball's got to be in his hands. But I was really impressed that no timeout needed because you have a senior team. They get the ball to Desi right where they wanted him to get the ball in the middle of the floor. Put so much pressure on the wings, especially when Powell's in the corner, on the left corner. So, you know, most times Desi will drive to his left hand and either spin or rack it. If you come off a Powell, he's banging a jumper. If you stay home on Powell, now all of a sudden Desi's got space. I thought it was just a really well-executed late-game situation without a timeout.
Let's turn to the Big East in general. You coached in this league. How has this new alignment of the league now in year 5 been able to establish itself consistently?
Well, I think you got tradition-rich programs. I mean, like you say, established. Look, there'll never be another conference like the old Big East. All right, I mean, just the way it is. But there wasn't a commonality within the league. I mean, every school had its own almost agenda in a lot of ways, because you had the football playing schools, you had the state universities, you had a lot of different kind of people pulling in different directions.
Right.
Now there's a tremendous commonality within the league. If you look at it, institutionally, they have the same mission. And you've got rich basketball traditions. I mean, you add Xavier. I mean, Xavier's got an incredible basketball tradition. I mean, it's, without a doubt, one of the best. You add Creighton, great venue, great passion for their program, another school with a rich tradition. So the league is healthy. League is a 6 bid, maybe 7 bid, maybe 5 bid, depending on what happens with St. John's league, and it's going to be that forever.
Yeah.
I mean that's just the way it is. It's not like Villanova's going anywhere. Not like Xavier's going anywhere. Creighton's going to continue to be good. Everyone thought with Pat and Leave, how good are they going to be? Well, you got Marcus Foster, obviously you got Thomas. I mean, these schools are going to attract good players. You got, new rivalries. You got Pat Ewing and Chris Mullen, back in the league. Which is really interesting. I would hope that obviously Coach Thompson and Coach Carnesecca would be able to attend that game, and there would be some type of ceremony honoring them, because let's face it, the Big East is what it is because of the institutions, but the characters that coached.
Yeah.
Whether it's Coach Massimino, who we lost this year, Coach Carnesecca, Coach Thompson. There was a great personality in the league, and I think that game should celebrate the personality within the league. And Chris has got a really good backcourt. Lovett's healthy. I mean, Shamari Pons has really played well, so the league is in really good shape.
If you could coach a game with any Big East coach, you're with him for a game planning, who would it be?
Oh, probably Jay, just because, I mean, come on, you're hanging out with Jay Wright. My daughter went to Villanova, so, I mean, she played volleyball there. So,
Right,
I mean, Jay is really just all his success, and I knew him when he was assistant coach at UNLV, when I was the head coach at Long Beach State. All his success, he hasn't changed. And I think that's the thing that, to me, makes him special. Probably right behind him would be my man, Ed Cooley. Because, when you talk about setting a standard right now for a program, Ed Cooley, what he's been able to do, the consistency, his ability to identify. See, when people recruit, they lose track. Everyone wants to worry about the top 100s, top 50s, top 25s. Recruiting is about evaluating and then knowing who can play for your head coach. And his staff, Jeff Battle is a great addition to his staff. His staff does as good a job as any in the country of knowing who can play for him. And then he develops really rich, strong relationships with the guys he recruits. David Duke, a local kid, he keeps him home. I mean, you could see the one thing, when players play just to play, they're going to win the games they're supposed to win. When players play for something bigger than themselves, then all of a sudden you can have that breakthrough wins. And I really believe the Providence kids play for their coach, Ed Cooley.
4 straight NCAA tournaments for the Friars, looking for a 5th behind Kyron Cartwright and Rodney Bullock. Coach, it doesn't get any better than this tonight, the Jimmy V Classic.
It's great, and for an incredible cause. And Jim Valvano is a guy who grew up in Seaford, Long Island, which is right next to Plainview, where I grew up. And the greatest story, one of the greatest stories Jimmy had this rat on a skateboard. He would take it around when he spoke at camps, because he always talked about 2 types of people: big timers and rats. And Jimmy was the ultimate rat, and he proves he was the ultimate rat. I'm actually going to tell the story today before the game. Is even when he's not here, he's still here because of the V Foundation. And even though he's not here, that rat mentality is helping save lives. So this is a great cause. It'll be terrific games. And we go a little old school Big East with Syracuse, UConn. Then we go a little new school.
ESPN will have full coverage tonight. Seth on Hoops on Twitter as well. It'll be Seth Greenberg, Dickie V and Company. You'll get a word in, right?
I think it'll be Dickie V and Dickie V and Company.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.